Hello YouTube, Brent Peeler here with you, coming to you from Dumaguete City. It's that time of month, folks. I've actually been here for 1 month, so I thought I'd do a little cost of living video with y'all, share some of my expenses, tell you what it costs to live here in the big town of Dumaguete City here in the Philippines on October 1st, 2025. Look behind me, folks. Look at that beautiful ocean view. I'm down here at the Starbucks. Got me a big, nice oat milk, blah, 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 frappuccino. Treating myself, folks. It's the only time I usually don't come to Starbucks. I usually just hit the little local coffee shops, but I was downtown anyway. I had to come pick up my visa. Got an extension last week, so they told me to come pick it up today. Took a week, so here we go. Okay, folks, I came onto the house because this month it's going to be a little bit more complicated than usual because I used credit cards and everything else. So before I get started, I just want to say prayers going out to everybody involved in that earthquake yesterday. I heard there's like 30-something casualties as of this morning, maybe more by now, up around Bogo City. So prayers to them. Okay, so I've kept y'all waiting long enough. Let's get to this. Folks, I'll make this short and sweet. And I'm going to do everything at a 58-to-1 ratio, 58 pesos to the American dollar. For the most of my bills and stuff, I've got it in pesos and dollars, but when I get down to my cash and credit cards, I'll just use kind of American dollars. Start out, I'm paying $12,000 a month for rent. 12,000 pesos for rent, and that comes to $206. Electric was a high month. We'll get into all this afterwards, but it was 6,000 pesos, coming out to $103. Wi-Fi is 2.5 or 2,500 pesos, which is $43. Propane, I just called that 1,000, which comes out to $18. Water, 500 pesos, comes out to $9. My cell phone bill, I just called it 1,000 pesos, come out to $18. Okay, all that added up is 23,000 pesos, which comes out to $396. We'll call it 400. We'll go round up and call it 400. Okay. Now it gets a little complicated from here because I use my credit card, but I've broke it down so you can get the gist of it. I spent $412 on groceries and restaurants and food, between grocery shopping, restaurants, and just eating drinks. So that was $412. I've got a miscellaneous category because I went to Ace, got a bug zapper. I got some plumbing stuff I got a new tank tenderizer for the the butt shower was leaking when I got here, so I got a new hose and butt shower tank tenderizer, got that fixed up. That cost $44. Pharmacy and toiletries, I spent $17. Brownout / airport, $90. So altogether, my bills were $400. My food and mess was $565, and my walking around money come to $300. That's everything I spent this month for a total of $1,265. Okay, we can jump into it now. Rent, that's pretty self-explanatory. $12K, $206. This is the cheapest place I've rented. The reason I'm renting here is because this is where Sharina's lived for a long time, and so I moved in with her, and I just agreed to pay the rent and utilities. I was going to have to pay them anyway, and I'm saving money by going this route. I think the last rent that I paid when I was renting my own was I was given $18,000 for that last place. So saving $100 when I moved in with her, and wouldn't have it any other way. I love my location there, but it's a good location down here by City Mall, and the school's just a block away, so it works out good. Works out real good. Electricity, this one was a little bit on the high side. 6,000 pesos, come out to $103. And like I say, I just got back from the United States, folks, so I really hadn't adjusted to all this heat and didn't get out a whole lot the first couple of weeks, and just been taking it easy and really running that aircon. Like I say, I hadn't adjusted, so that aircon's been going pretty much 24/7, and it cost 6,000 pesos, $103. That's still, people gripe about the electricity being high in the Philippines. Evidently, they've never been to Southwest Oklahoma, because shit, in the summertime, you could say 3 or 4 times that easy, especially running an air conditioner 24/7. So no complaints here. Wi-Fi, another one that's pretty high. 2,500 pesos here in the Philippines. That's probably as much as I've heard anybody paying, and we're going to change that. We're definitely going to change that, because of course we get cable and all that with it, and it works. I upload these videos and all that, but I've heard there's just as good or better for 1,500 pesos. So I'm gonna look into changing providers, and we'll get that knocked down. But that 2,500 pesos come out to $43. Gas for cooking, 1,000 pesos, I called it, $18. Water, 500 pesos, $9. Cell phone bill, I called it 1,000. I think I buy a plan that costs around 900 pesos, but it don't cost me that a month. I won't have to pay that again for another 4 months, 5 months. Matter of fact, when I got back from the United States, landed in Manila, popped in my SIM card, and I still had shit left over from, I was in the United States for 4 months. This plan that I'm on never expires. You get like 90 gigabytes of data, or 85 gigabytes of data, all kind of like 900 free text messages, 900 minutes of calling. Of course, it's cell phone to cell phone, and it don't count calling the US, but I never call or text anybody over here at all. I always use Messenger. A lot of these people here in the Philippines use WhatsApp. I don't even do that. I just use Messenger. If I ain't got them on Messenger, I don't call them pretty much. So yeah, that 1,000 pesos come out to $18, and like I say, you can divide that by 4 or 5 easy, because I think it was probably 3 or 4 months that I used it before I even went home last time. So I was good until probably about a week ago. I finally topped back up, because I only had like 2 gigabytes left, so I went ahead and bought another one, and it just stacks on top of each other. So now I've got like 87 gigabytes. So I highly recommend that plan. But I will say this, I have noticed, and I run my data all the time. Well, not here at the house, because I'm always on Wi-Fi, but anytime we go out, I've got YouTube on and music blaring, folks. I'm jamming out, and I use YouTube, and I just play my music on YouTube. But I've noticed that the service ain't near as good as it used to be. I'll hit little patches where, my data goes out, and it might take it a minute before it comes back on. But I don't remember having that problem before, but I noticed it now. So maybe I need to look in. I've got 2 phones. I could get Globe. I used to have a Globe SIM card, but I gave it to Charina. Might look into buying me a Globe SIM card, and just to see if it's the same spotty like this Smart's getting to be or not. Like I said, that breaks out. That's all my bills. That's all my necessities, other than eating and living. But that covers all my utilities, and that come out to $400, $396. Call it 400. Round up, makes it easier. Now the rest of this was credit card. I just come back from the United States, and in the United States, we're used to swiping our credit cards or debit cards and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Well, let me get into this other first before I jump into the credit card. I will talk about the cash. I got out 40,000 pesos. I actually got out 50,000, but I've still got 10 left, so we're just gonna call it 40,000 because I only used 40. I got 10 at the airport when I first got here, and then 20 and 20, and when the month hit, I still had 10 left. So that $396 come out to 23,000 pesos. So I just subtracted 23 from 40, or subtracted, yeah, 23 from 40, had 17,000 pesos left. And so that's what I spent in the month, and walking around money, you know, buying a soda pop here and there, paying the Grab, paying a few restaurants, whatever I didn't use my credit card on. And on the restaurants, I might have used a credit card a couple of times, but mainly that is for walking around money, going down to the cafes, eating, drinking. I know I give $2,000 for my Visa extension. I always, if I order McDonald's, I'll pay the Kuya in cash. So like I said, I got 50 out, had 40 left. So subtracted from the bills, that's only 17,000 left. So, and I've probably got, I wouldn't say 1,000, but I've probably got, I always keep a change can. I just throw my change in there because I don't like carrying all that heavy change around with me. So I've got a Spam can in there just halfway full of just anytime you know how you are, it's different these days in the States because everybody just swipes, but back in the day you'd have a place where you threw all your change. Well, that's what I do, and pretty much it's open to anybody if they need a few pesos or a couple hundred pesos, they just get them out of there, and that way if we're gone or whatever and we got water being delivered, we can just tell you, yeah, get the money out of that can, pay for the water. They'll stack the water up inside, and just little things like that. Or if you order Grab and you got to get exact change, or they do, if you order instead of Amazon, they do like a Lazada over here, and a lot of that stuff's cash on delivery, like we used to have back in the United States in the 80s. I'm telling you, this place feels like the 80s, folks. It really does. So you can order it and don't have to pay for it till it arrives, and then. But when it arrives, a lot of times you need exact change. If not, you're going to be tipping them whatever you get. So we got to, like I say, it's just whatever a guy needs some money for. That's what we use it for. Okay, so $400 for my basic bills. $300 is what I had left with walking around money, and I probably got 500 or 600 pesos and change in there. But anyway, that wipes out the 40,000 cash that I took out the ATM. So that's a total of 700 right off the bat. I mean, that's what them two add up to be: 300, 400, 700. Groceries. I spent 400. I've got this wrote down and broke down at Bellcrest and Robinson's Mall and City Mall and any other little grocery store that I didn't use cash. Like I said, being from the United States and just getting back, I still had swiping on the brain, so I was swiping. I'm going to get out of that habit, just because it's not worth. I've never had any trouble here, never had any problem here in the Philippines, but the least amount of times you swipe your card, the less it could ever get get your numbers or whatever and go to running it up, because you're in the Philippines, you're not home, they're not just going to mail you another one. It's going to be an ordeal. So, but I hadn't got out of that habit just yet. And yeah, like I say, $412 for that. Groceries, food, $412. Miscellaneous was Ace, do it yourself, it's $44. I used credit card for that. Pharma and toiletries, $17, used credit card. And Brownout / airport was we went to got 2 hotel rooms during the Brownout and / airport. That's from when I was swiping my card there at the airport when I come in. I swiped my card a couple times at Manila to buy airport food and that kind of stuff. So that came out to $90. So yeah, that's basically it. All that adds up to $565. So grand total all in $1,265, folks. You can't beat that. I mean, you can beat that too. This, like I say, there's a lot of fat I could trim off here, but that's not how much I've got to spend. That's how much I spent. And like I say, the electric should go down. There's no need in me going to Bellcrest to these specialty stores. And I bought 4 jars of pickles up at the specialty store in Valencia. They cost $400 a piece. $1,600 pesos for pickles, folks. That's a little ridiculous. But I like pickles, so that's what it cost. But that's my specialty store was 90% of that. I'd say probably 300 out of 400 was specialty, pork and beans and bahini weenies and hamburger meat and sausage and just chips and crap that I shouldn't be eating, but I did. I bought a lot of it. So yep. To break it down, we got $400 for my utilities, $565 for my eating, drinking, and credit card use with miscellaneous, and $300 I spent, walking around money for this, that, and other. And yeah, you'll say, well, you ain't got your motorbike gas on there. Well, no, I don't, because it comes out of that walking around money, that $300 walking around money. I filled up once. I've only been out on my bike probably 4 or 5 times. Rode it to Valencia back a few times and just put it around the Dumagetti. So I just filled up last week. It cost me, I don't know, whatever it cost, probably $3 or $4. I just decided, well, I probably need to top off, so I did. No, I don't have somebody in my last video said, well, you got registration for your motorbike. No, I don't. I just bought my motorbike back in January. They cover the registration and insurance for 2 years. So that's all the bills I've got, folks. That's all I've got. And like I say, that $1,265, I could get that down pretty easy, but I'm not trying to see how cheap I can live over here, folks. I'm just telling you what it cost me. And that's with buying snuff, a vape, and I hate to say it, but cigarettes again. I'm on them damn cigarettes again. And these little pouches that are supposed to try to get me off the snuff. If it's a bad habit, I've got it, folks, other than beer drinking. I don't drink beer, but I buy snuff. I buy tobacco products, and I need to fix that. And I will. I'll get her fixed. But a lot of y'all ask me what it takes to live over here. Everybody's different, but I can live pretty comfortable on $1,300. Like I say, there's a lot of that I can do. All I can tell you is, folks, if you're paying your bills back in the United States and living off your money, you're not getting assistance for your house and that kind of stuff. Well, then there's no way in hell you shouldn't be able to do it over here in the Philippines and live a whole lot better life. You'd be surprised. I know lots of the groceries and stuff that I showed you on previous videos. A lot of y'all said, well, that's as high as it is here. Well, yeah, because I'm in a specialty store. They're having to ship that stuff. If I'd eat like a local, I could eat for $2 or $3 a meal. I'm not trying to live I'm not trying to be cheap. I'm just trying to eat what I like, just living the way I live. So if you'd be surprised how far your money will go over here, especially if you're trying to pinch pennies or watch it a little bit. So if you've got $1,265 a month, there's no reason that you can't make it over here. And yes, this is the cheapest rent that I've ever had, but it's a 2-story, 2-bedroom, in a pretty good location. But you can find something around $300 a month easy. There's lots of people that do it, and you can probably do it and find a better place than this for $200, $250. I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at. A lot of times I miss that swimming pool that I used to have, but yeah, just enjoying it, folks. Anyway, folks, that's my little video. I hope y'all got something out of it. I hope that helped you. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm sure I left something out. But that is the total amount of money that I spent, period. I went through my credit cards, I went through my ATM card, and between cash, credit, ATMs, you know, that's what I spent. It's $1,260. I put $1,265. It might have been $1,250. I rounded up instead of down. So you can do it, folks. And like I say, you'll have. I'm not saying you, me. I just, my money goes a lot further over here. Is all I'm going to say. That's all I got for now, folks. This is Brent's Tripping. Peace.